It's time for your daily LSU baseball update with Musso at the box. Now, Matt Musso.
Off and running. Welcome in another edition of Musso at the box. Fired up to have you here, presented by Gotlit Light Installers. Excited to have the conversations that we are going to have today. Emphasis on the plurality there. Derek Curiel, he is in the midst of a pretty incredible streak at LSU, reaching base in 9 straight games. Where does that rank in the history of the NCAA record book? I have found the answer. I will pass that along to you. And also, we will begin to have the conversation about kind of where his freshman season stacks up to some of the best and how he cements or passes a few of the guys ahead of him. We can't fully have that conversation until the season really ends, where it stacks up, like where it finds its final place. But just kind of a, I don't want to call it a midseason update because it's obviously, late April, early May. But to this point, where he stacks up in the range of the other great freshman seasons in LSU history. And then Jay Johnson, we talked about it on our immediate reaction post-game following the Southeastern game. Jay Johnson actually updated the status of Devin Sheerin. We'll pass along what he says. I have some thoughts on if and when you might see him that maybe differ a little bit from Tuesday night, but all in all, not totally. So we'll get into all of it. Smash the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app. I recommend both. Take the show with you wherever you go. Of course, follow me on social media as well. That is greatly appreciated. Twitter X at Musso Matthew. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. All right. We begin with Derek Curiel. And I want to begin the conversation with his latest feat in reaching base. Derek Curiel reached base in the first 43 games of the season for LSU, every single one of them. On Saturday, game number 2 against Tennessee, he failed to reach base for the first time this year. Since that game, starting game 3 Sunday, Derek Curiel has reached base 9 consecutive times. His last 9 plate appearances. And a lot of people have asked, what the LSU record is. I haven't been able to really, kind of nail that down yet. Hopefully I will by the end of this week. But I have found the NCAA record. He's halfway there. So actually, he's kind of got a long way to go. The NCAA records of most consecutive times on base is 18. It's been done twice. Jake Rickenbaugh from Utah Valley did it in 2012. Sean Larkin from Cal State Northridge did it in 2002. It took Rickenbaugh 5 games. It took Larkin 4 games. So far, Curiel has reached 9 straight times in 2 games. So we will see if he can keep that up when the Tigers head to College Station. Obviously, look, it's going to be a tough test in that Friday night game against Ryan Prager, who is a very good lefty starter. We'll see how long Curiel can keep it going. But the NCAA record is 18 consecutive times, done twice, most recently in 2012. So Curiel, he's halfway there. That is just the latest in what has been a remarkable freshman season for Derek Curiel. And people have been asking a lot where it ranks in LSU history. And as I kind of said off the top there, I don't think we can fully have that conversation yet until the season is over. Because there have been, to me, 4 freshman seasons in LSU history that stand alone among all. Not to say you haven't had, other great ones. Of course you have. But, and let me preface this. I'm talking just position players right now. This conversation is just position player. You've had awesome freshman years on the mound. I mean, Alex Lane comes to mind. Aaron Nola had a great freshman season for LSU. Obviously, Lane Mestape. Like, there are others. Brett Laxton. I mean, hell, what a freshman year that guy had, right? But I'm talking just position players. for this conversation specifically. After the year, we'll put him up there with everybody. But there are 4 position player freshman years that stand out above all else. Todd Walker in 1992, Mike Fontenot in 2000, Alex Bregman in 2013, and Dylan Cruz in 2021. Why do those 4 stand out? Well, all 4 of those guys ranked highly on their team in statistics. A lot of them changed the record books for LSU as well in terms of freshmen, and all 4 of them took home National Freshman of the Year. 2 out of the 4 took home SEC Freshman of the Year as well. And I should preface that as well with SEC Freshman of the Year was first awarded in 2000. Todd Walker would have. It just wasn't a thing at that point. That's where the conversation becomes incomplete for Derek Curiel. Right? Because he hasn't had the opportunity to take home those awards. But him being in the running and arguably, I would tell you, the front runner, I think he's definitely the front runner for SEC Freshman of the Year. Look, I don't know every freshman stats across the country, but he's obviously got to be a front runner for National Freshman of the Year as well. If you're going to win SEC Freshman of the Year, you're definitely in the running for National Freshman of the Year. So already, I would put Curiel 5th. Like, he's in the top 5. But when you compare those other seasons to where Curiel is at this point, y'all, it's really good. For me, in my opinion, and I know I'm not alone in this, Todd Walker has the greatest freshman season of all time at LSU. And that includes the pitchers. Like, of the all-time freshman seasons, for me, Todd Walker is number 1. In 1992, y'all, Todd Walker stepped on campus and hit 400 as a freshman. That led LSU's team. He smashed 12 home runs. That led LSU's team that year. The 76 RBI led LSU's team that season. And the 519 on base percentage led LSU's team that season. He walked 38 times, which was 4th. I'm sorry, tied for 3rd on LSU's team that year. He was awesome. National Freshman of the Year by multiple publications. If SEC Freshman of the Year would have been a thing, he would have ran away with that. It set the tone for what was an incredible 3 years. Like, Todd Walker is number 1, and that's who Derek Curiel is chasing in order to be the best freshman of all time at LSU, in my opinion, and even in the position player ranks. He's not far off in certain categories, but we'll get to that. You know, then you can look at Mike Fontenot. And Fontenot's definitely in that top 5. He hit 350. He set at that time the LSU record for home runs by a freshman with 17. National Freshman of the Year by multiple publications. The inaugural SEC Freshman of the Year as well. I would probably put Fontenot 3rd when it comes to the position players. And I would tell you it's one of the more underrated freshman seasons that we don't talk about enough. I would put Alex Bregman 2nd. Alex Bregman hit 369. That was 2nd on LSU's team in 2013. His 52 RBI were 2nd on the team. He had a 417 on base. SEC Freshman of the Year, National Freshman of the Year by multiple publications, Freshman All-American by multiple publications. Won the Brooks Wallace Award as a freshman as the nation's best shortstop. He fielded .939 as a true freshman at short, came in day 1, hit 3-hole, and never left that spot for a team that tied the LSU record for wins in a season at 57, made it all the way to Omaha. Bregman was incredible. He was so good, he overshadowed Mark Laird that year, who also hit 300 as a true freshman. So with that long list, I would put Bregman second, Fontenot third, and then Dylan Cruz in there at 4. Dylan Cruz hit 362, kind of right there behind Bregman, and led LSU's team in that regard. He broke Mike Fontenot's record of 17 homers by a freshman by hitting 18. He didn't quite have the RBI totals that the other guys had. The on base was great at 453. He led LSU in walks that year as a true freshman. Dylan Cruz was awesome. Like, we know that. One publication named him National Freshman of the Year. That was Perfect Game. He was I believe, unanimous freshman All-American. And also, he did not win SEC Freshman of the Year that season. So, lacking a little bit in the award category there, he certainly made up for that with back-to-back SEC Player of the Years and a Golden Spikes. But if we're just looking at the freshman year, that's why I would have him fourth. So where's Derek Curiel? Derek Curiel, to this point, is hitting 380. So this is 46 games into the year. 380. 20 points off of where Todd Walker was and ahead of where Bregman, Fontenot, and Cruz all finished. He's at 65 hits. For what it's worth, Todd Walker had 100 hits his first year at LSU. Curiel has the 6 homers, so he'd be halfway to Walker's total. I don't think he's going to get there, obviously. He's definitely not touching Cruz or Fontenot, but Alex Bregman hit 6 homers his freshman year. The 505 on base percentage trails only Todd Walker, who finished at 519. Derek Curiel leads LSU in walks with 39, as did Dylan Cruz with that same number, and that's where he finished. So he'll pass that. Y'all, when it is all said and done, and Derek Curiel finishes this season out, and we'll see if he can break a reached base record. We'll see if he can reach base in the rest of LSU's games. Like, all of that. By the way, Dylan Cruz had a very impressive reached base streak as a freshman as well that Curiel's passed. I mean, Curiel passed all LSU freshmen in reached base. Fontenot, actually, I believe, is who he ended up, the last guy he needed to pass. He's going to be right there, in my opinion, second only to Todd Walker, and we'll see if he can pass him up. The numbers are trending that way. But, and I get it, different eras, and all of that. But it's not too often you see a freshman walk in and hit 400. The bats were much more alive back in the early and mid-90s, but that still wasn't just a normal occurrence where freshmen walked on a campus and did that. That's hard to do. But at 380 with the 6 homers, he's second on the team in RBI, leads in walks, and obviously leads in OBP. He's getting on base 50% of the time, 46 games in. He's reached base in 45 of the 46 and 9 straight times. I think when this is over and we come back and revisit this and he's collected his awards and all that, that Derek Curiel will only be looking up at Todd Walker in terms of position player freshman at LSU. We can have the conversation of the other guys because, Laxton on the mound won National Freshman of the Year. Lane Mestape took home a National Freshman of the Year. Alex Lang took home a National Freshman of the Year as well. So we'll have to compare it favorably there. But if you're only looking up at Mike Fontenot, at Todd Walker, That's probably where you're going to rank when you factor in everybody else as well. It's been an awesome run for Derek Curiel. Awesome run for Curiel. And I can't wait to watch it continue because it's far from over. This team's going to play postseason baseball. They got 3 more weeks in this season. They'll play postseason ball at the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament, hopefully all the way to Omaha. And he can just keep padding those stats because it's been a joy to watch for him stepping on campus. And for what it's worth, y'all, it shouldn't be a surprise. At one point, Derek Curiel was the #1 high school player in the nation for his class. That's the talent you got here. And boy, he stepped right in and had never missed a beat. All right, let me remind you about Gotlit Light Installers, and we'll get to the Devin Sheeran news. Gotlit Light Installers, gotlitlights.com. Permanent outdoor landscape lighting. Remember, they started out with the Christmas lights. It's not just Christmas lights. They've expanded their business, added permanent outdoor landscape lighting, front yard flower beds, backyard patio, and pool area. However you want to illuminate the exterior of your home, Gotlit Lights is your one and only stop. They do it all. Temporary outdoor lighting available for premium in private events as well, like weddings, wedding receptions, maybe a company party, graduations. Y'all, they are here. Graduations are here. You're throwing your grad a party. You need some outdoor lighting for that party. Gotlit Lights. It's all custom designed. It's all installed, maintained, tore down, and stored by Gotlit Light Installers. Derek and his team, they want to make you a customer for life, and that is one way that they do it. The other way they do it is by building phenomenal relationships. Anybody can come install your lights. Gotlit Lights wants it to be much more personal than that. Go to gotlitlights.com. Gotlit Light Installers, proud sponsor of Musso at the Box. Tell them you heard it right here as well. Okay, update on Devin Sheeran. You know, I was asked about this post-game after the Southeastern game, talked about it a little bit. Unbeknownst to me, while I was doing that, Jay Johnson was meeting with the media and giving his own update on Devin Sheeran. I had pulled the audio for you, forgetting that with this temporary setup I'm using, I wasn't able to play it for you. So I'll just give you the, the quote in and of itself. Jay Johnson said that Devin Sheeran threw a simulated game on Thursday. The results were good. He was healthy. And now it's about improving, quote, his overall sharpness. Jay also said they'd like to get him into a game, quote, if the opportunity presents itself. He would go on to say that was not Tuesday night. It just didn't. Connor Ware was pitching the 7th, and if they could have extended the game, they would have gone to Jacob Myers in the 8th, and then Grant Fontenot would have gotten the 9th to be back out there. I know everybody wants to see Devin Sheeran. I want to see Devin Sheeran. The kid throws 100, and he's got a wipeout slider. When you look at his freshman year at Mount St. Mary's, he threw 70 innings and punched out 109. He led that team and that league, the MAAC, in strikeouts. He walked 32 in 70 innings. So again, improving overall sharpness. And you have to remember, this injury happened in the summer. So he's just starting to throw from the summer. Jay Johnson, when he met with the media fall ball prior to the start of fall and broke the news about Sheeran tearing his ACL, mentioned that it was done in the summer and that he wouldn't pitch fall or preseason. But when he talked about the injury, he really went kind of in depth and talked about how, it's not an arm injury, but it does affect your arm because as a pitcher, he said something along the fact of like your legs lead to your arm or something along those lines where, you have to make sure the ACL's in a good spot structurally first, obviously, right? To where, you can plant and do all those things and it can move and the ACL can function like it's supposed to. But also in doing so after that, it's getting him on the mound, getting him in the time, bullpen sessions, sim games, all of that to make sure it's all functioning properly and leading to his arms. There's not a mechanical change is what Jay talked about. And as far as I know, there hasn't been one for Devin Sheeran, which is a good thing because you don't want to put the arm at risk, obviously, in changing up the mechanics that he's been working with his whole life and has been very good at. So there's a lot that goes into it. Just then, man, the ACL's healed, get him on the mound. Him throwing a simulated game is a huge step in the right direction. But it is the quote at the end there from Jay where he said, we'd love to get him in a game if the opportunity presents itself. I'm here to tell you those opportunities, if and when they present themselves, are going to be in the midweek, first and foremost. LSU is not going to get Devin Sheeran on the mound in a weekend and sacrifice, the sake of winning the ball game. I don't think that should come as any surprise. Again, this is a guy who's just started throwing and elevating his throwing program since the summer. You don't want to rush him back. Even if Devin Sheeran comes back and you do see him in midweek, I don't know if he actually has a role on this team. I don't know how much he can actually help you. Just because it is so late in the year. I mean, y'all, you're looking at his first outing potentially being sometime in May. And that's if. That's if. LSU has one midweek game left, and it's against Grambling. That's it. I don't think Devin Sheeran's first action of the year is going to be in the SEC tournament or on a pivotal SEC weekend, and all three of them remaining are that. And I definitely wouldn't expect it to be in a regional, super regional in Omaha. So the way I see it, because I know LSU is not going to put him out there on the mound just to do it and jeopardize winning a baseball game. The way I see it, you really have one more shot. And that's Tuesday against Grambling. Next Tuesday, your next midweek game, I should say, against Grambling. That's your chance. And if it's not there, you probably don't see him this year. And while I know that's not the answer that many want, and again, that's just my opinion, but I'm basing that opinion in obviously watching the way Jay Johnson has done things and just kind of understanding the situation a little bit. Because you have nothing but meaningful games left. And you really have to prioritize the arms that you're going to count on in those meaningful games. Like Connor Ware. Like a Jacob Myers. Jay Johnson, he was getting the 8th. He's been good for us. We want to keep running him out there. As of late, he's been good. So, that. Like a Connor Benj. Connor Benj hadn't pitched in over a week now. So, that's kind of where you stand there. If the opportunity presents itself, they'll get him in there. I think really the last opportunity that makes a lot of sense is against Grambling next Tuesday. So we'll see. But it's great to hear the recovery has gone well. It's great to hear he's out there throwing sim games. All of that is very, very important. The other thing to consider with it is if you pitch him, you burn his red shirt. This isn't like football where you get 4 games. If he goes out there and pitches, you burn the red shirt year that you could have for him. Granted, I get it. Next year, he's draft eligible, and the stuff is what it is, and someone's going to take a flyer on him, so you might not even care about the red shirt, but that does factor into this as well. We'll see. We'll see what LSU elects to do. But that's the very latest I can give you, so it's positive. But it might not be the answer you're looking for because y'all want to see him, and I get it. I do too. I mean, a guy throws 100 with a wipeout slider. Yeah, I want to see that guy too. Like, absolutely. I like that stuff as well. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today, y'all. Y'all smash the like button. Please get subscribed to the podcast YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app. Follow on social media. Please share. That helps tremendously as well. And be here next time for more. It's Musso at the Box, presented by Gauntlet Light Installers.